Good morning. Word up. Welcome to the class all about poetry, spoken word, and short stories. My name is Kimberlie Wright. Thanks again for supporting literature and writing. So we're going to get into what we're basically going to be doing today is sharing our works if we have any poems, any types of poetry to share, and that's our key word today is types of poetry. If you do not mind, go ahead and grab some pen, pencil, or paper. You need paper and pen today to jot down any things that you discover that you can use in your writing, and also any lessons that I may give for next week. So today we're going to support daily poetry by reading a poem of the day. And I'm going to read that. It's called Blood Ode by Diamond Ford. All right. This is called Blood Ode by Diamond Ford. This is in support of daily poetry. So I'm encouraging you also to go online and read a poem a day. All you have to do is search in any search engine the poem for today or daily poetry, something like that. So this is what came up today. Fat girl nicks herself shaving in the shower, resents the water that will carry her blood to sea. Blood, worthless currency, cannot buy a country but becomes it. Platelets stitching into streets, fat girl weeps for the blood that won't return. How many mothers have tried such a homecoming, sons and daughters inking the tarry streets. Fat girl becomes a mother through her looking, has seen too many children mangled by a sense of justice. She carries somebody's child in the crater, their deaths create inside her. If she could just reach deep enough, if she could piecemeal her own plump, how many layers would it take to make a bulletproof lung? Fat girl mourns the blood mauling a persistent path through the drain pipes. If blood must be taken, let there be coral glittering like gemstones at their feet. Dolphins pitching foam in arcs out from the sea. Let there be air enough. Fat girl could be a mother, fretting the impossible journey of her blood. All right. That was called Blood Ode. Is there anyone out there that have any pieces to share for today? Yes, beautiful Jean.
Yes. I would like everybody to help me work on this one. I talked about growing old and getting old.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I started some, and I wish everybody would add one, and then we could have a real nice long list. Getting old, you have wrinkles. Growing old, these are just laugh lines. Getting old, you have a cracked voice. Growing old, you have voice inflections. Getting old, you're bent over, and when you grow old, you just have a new style of walking.
I get it.
Got it. So I'm thinking if we could all work on it, we could have a whole list of things that would make it different from growing old and getting old.
Right.
I thought it would be fun. I don't know.
So I'm I'm definitely gonna be thinking about that and have one for you probably before we get out of class.
Okay.
I like that. Okay. Someone else wanted to say something? If not, if you have pen and paper, we're gonna go. You want, yes, Mr. Running?
I'm looking for a poem I wrote last night about getting old.
Oh,
When I find it, I'll let you know.
No problem. So don't fret. We will have more time to go into your pieces as pertains to what you want to share. But right now, I'm going to go ahead and just show a quick video. I'm going to go ahead and show a quick video on different types of poetry. We're going to look at about 7 quick different types of poetry. And some of you have been in this class from since the very beginning, and you can tell me the type of poetry that you've seen that we've already covered.
Seven different types, forms, and formats. Welcome to Homework Joy. Today we'll talk about different types of poems, its forms and formats. Is an artistic way to express emotions. Learn everything about this art. Haiku poems. It is a 3-line poem with a 5/7 5-syllable count. The form consists of beauty and simplicity of nature. Free verse. Free verse is the least defined types of poems. There is no other form for free verse. Epic poems. These are long narrative poems with a story about heroes or adventures. Ballad. Ballad poems are similar to epic poems, but based on your folktale. Acrostic. It's a poem spellings or words with every first letter in each line. Sonnets. The word sonetto is Italian, which means a little sound or song, but it was turned on Shakespeare. Cinquains. Cinquains is a 5-line Japanese haiku. There are different variations of this type of poetry in America. Thanks for watching the video. Also, for some difference of poems, check the description. www.homeworkjoy.com.
Did you see some poems that we've already gone over? If anybody is speaking, anyway, I'm going to go ahead straight into the next video.
We are learning to write poems to
Video.
entertain. This video will give you 6 different examples, 6 different types of poems that you could possibly write. The first one is a limerick, and a limerick is a type of poem. Limericks are usually very silly poems that are fun to write and fun to read. A limerick always has 5 lines. Limericks have got a specific pattern, and they also have a specific rhyming pattern to them. The first, second, and 5th line all have the same rhyme, so they have the same sound at the end of each of those lines. The 3rd line and the 4th line have got a different rhyming sound, and it is important that pattern is followed in order for the poem to be a limerick. Here is an example. Hickory dickory dock, the mouse ran up the clock. The clock struck 1 and down he ran, hickory dickory dock. So So we can have a look at the rhyming words. On the first line is dock, on the second line is clock, and on the fifth line is dog. And on lines 3 and 4, we've got one and run. That's your example of a limerick. The Cinquain is another type of poem. This poetry style also has 5 lines. They have different rules to follow. The first line has one word, which is shown up here, poetry. The second line has 2 words, clever and crafty. And these lines have to follow a subject and a style. So the first word in the first line is the subject of the poem, which is what poetry is. The second words in the line describes the subject, clever and crafty. The third line, which has 3 words, which is shown here, has to have action words about the subject, or doing words, so writing, composing, and describing. The fourth line has 4 words, and these are feelings about the subject, so best words and best order is an example. The fifth line is one word, and it's usually a synonym for the subject. So in this case, verse. Verse is another word for poetry. Here is another example of a Cinquain that has been wrote by somebody called Fiona. Dragon, strong, fierce, climb, walk, eat. A dragon is fierce, creature. Another style of poetry is a haiku. A haiku is a Japanese poem. The Japanese poem has 3 lines. Unlike the first 2 poems, they also have some rules that you need to follow. The first line has 5 syllables, the second line has 7 syllables, and the third line has 5 syllables. An example of a haiku is sand scatters the beach. Waves crash on the sandy shore. Blue water shimmers. This is an example wrote by somebody called Kimberlie. Another style of poetry can be a free verse poem. Now, a free verse poem is a poem that does not have a set form. It doesn't have consistent rhyme or rhythm to it. They have no set pattern that is followed. They have a little bit more freedom when they're writing. This is an example of a free verse poem, Skunk. Black, white, striped, tiny, round eyes. Skunky smell, sharp claws. Skinny, sharp, vampire teeth. Big, bushy tail. Like a flag, waving. Oh, I need tomato juice. Another version of poetry could be a shape poem. Shape poems are made up of words that have been placed in such a way that they make the shape of an object, and also use words to describe the shape. Here's a couple of different examples of a shape poem. So this shape poem here is called In a Twist, and it looks like it's almost the shape of a twister. We felt the rain, wind and hail, and then the thunder and lightning came. The winds gathered up and began to spin, like a spinning top sucking up dust like a vacuum cleaner. The twister went around and around like a merry-go-round. The gust of air were picking up dust. It continued to roar loudly, destroying everything along the way. Soon it was gone. Here's another example of a shape poem. This one is in the shape of a star, and the information and the subject is all about the star. Another form of poetry could be a couplet poem. There are 2 lines of poetry, one after the other, that rhyme and are of the same length and rhythm. So there is a pattern to a couplet poem. Here is an example. I can slurp on a truck. I can slurp in the muck. I can slurp with my coat. I can slurp sitting in a moat. I can slurp under a log. I can slurp in the fog. I can slurp with my cake. I can slurp at the lake. I can slurp here or there. I can slurp anywhere. It's now your turn to write your own poem and choosing a style that you would particularly like to try. Are you going to have a look first and have a look at the limerick? Are you going to have a look at the Cinquain? Are you going to have a look at the haiku or a free verse poem? or maybe a shape poem, or a couplet poem. It's your choice. Before you come up and see me, please make sure you've got an example of a poem. Until next time.
All right, so what did y'all think about those two videos as it pertains to, did you feel comfortable that you had already known some of the different styles of poetry? You have to unmute yourselves. Miss Jean, how many?
I can't see anybody. What am I doing wrong?
Uh,
I get participants.
not sure.
I don't either. Aria,
See you. I see you.
you do?
Yes. Everybody else.
I don't see anybody. Aria, Aria,
What view are you on?
Aria.
Right.
Okay. I see the names, but I don't see the participants. Let's see.
It's no problem. Did you all see some different styles of poetry within those videos that we've already covered?
Yes.
Okay. So when I watched the video, I saw that we covered the haiku poem, of course. We've done the acrostic, the free verse, and we've also tried a limerick, doing limericks, and the shape poems. So I don't know whoever finished their shape poems, but I am even still working on mine. So did you ever find your piece, Mr. Running? You have to unmute yourself.
Yeah.
Okay. So from the videos, I want you all to go ahead and start to work on the Cinquain, and I'm going to put the instructions in the chat. However, we're going to go ahead and give Mr. Go ahead and give Mr. Running the spotlight. So
Okay, are you ready for me to share my poem?
yes, sir.
Okay, I have two short poems here. The first one is called Old Dog. The old dog clamped his mouth around my leg. I feared, but no teeth, no pain.
Can you reread it? I'm so sorry.
Okay,
Thank you.
old dog. The old dog clamped his mouth around my leg. I feared, but no teeth, no pain. That's something that actually happened.
Really
this other one, I might not have the format exactly right yet. I started this last night. It's called The Tree. A tree was bent over like an old black woman, but its afro was splendid. Should I read that again?
Yes, you can.
Okay. The tree. A tree was bent over like an old black woman, but its afro was splendid. Thank you.
much.
I have
Those two poems were splendid.
I have
Uh,
I think.
Yes.
You want to hear it?
Who's that? Miss Sharon Harnett.
Say.
The auntie.
Yay.
Okay, go ahead. You
Okay.
have the floor.
This one is silk and paint.
Can you say it a little louder? Sorry.
Silk and paint.
Okay.
Where's the paint? Wait a minute. Silk and paint. Wait a minute. Okay. Today is our social gathering. Come as you like, but bring some kind of delight. Water, soft drinks, but nothing harsh that will disrupt our flight. Bring on your colors as you sip and paint to bring your imagination into sight. Remember, pandemic is still lurking around, so we must be careful and distance ourselves for the beauty of the night. Wash your hands and mask up, and all that will be right. So, that making sense? Is that okay? Did you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. That's it.
That was really, really good.
I got another one, but I won't leave that one alone.
You said you have another one, but what?
I'll leave that alone for today.
Read.
Somebody said, go ahead and read it.
Read it. I did read it.
I have to find it.
Okay, no problem. If you find it, please
No, I want to read it
hesitate
now.
to share with us. That was good. Thank you, Miss Sharon. Thank you so much. All right. Do we have anyone else? Who said that? Miss G?
Me?
Okay.
I have a limerick.
Okay, go for it.
Okay, it's a limerick. There was an old lady named Jean. She was oh so very pristine, and she would never be mean. Her voice was so kind, she was always just fine.
Really, really good. I like your rhyme.
I like it too. I liked it too, Kim.
That was really good.
That was a good laugh.
Yep.
I like to laugh.
Thank you, Miss Jean. What was the title of that poem?
Jean.
Oh, Jean. Okay. That was really good. So make sure you record these finished poems down into your journals.
Okay.
So if you have a pen and paper, I'm going to go ahead and write into the chat the lesson for next week. Type into the chat the lesson for next week. So the lesson for next week is for you all to write a Cinquain.
Right, what?
I just put it in the chat, and I'm going to put the instructions for writing that. So the Cinquain has 5 lines. The first line has 1. It's coming through, young people. All right, the first line has 1 word. It's the subject of the poem. Please write this down. The second line has 2 words. And this line describes the subject. Third line has 3 words. Fourth line has 4 words.
Okay.
The fifth line has 1 word.
Lynn, I've lost him again. Yep.
The fifth line has 1 word, and it's the synonym for the subject. So I'm just gonna, while you copy that down, I'm going to give an example. So that what I just typed there is just an example with the word that starts with poetry. So I want to just share with you all quickly one other Cinquain. I'm going to screen share with you all right quick. All right, so if you can see on the right side of the screen where it says bonfire, so that's the subject of the poem. Bonfire. The next 2 words describes the subject, bright, beautiful. The next line, which is 3 words, are the action words about the subject, crackling, spitting, dancing. The fourth line includes 4 words, and it's the feelings about the subject. Embers, fizz, and the chilly air. And the last 5th line has 1 word. It's the synonym for the subject, beacon. Bonfire, bright, beautiful, crackling, spitting, dancing, embers, fizz in the chilly air. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, 1, 2. They're actually saying that that 5th, 4th line, the embers, fizz, chilly air, but in the would not really be considered a word. But you know, do your best to describe the feelings as best you can, and the last word is beacon. All right, so.
I had never heard of that type of poetry before.
Oh, really? Okay. So let's just go to one more thing so we can be even more clear about it. One second. All right. We're going to share the screen one more time. And we don't know if this makes sense to you or not, but we're just going to read it anyway. All right. The Cinquain is a class of poetic forms that employ a 5-line pattern. Earlier used to describe any 5-line form, it now refers to one of the several forms that are defined by specific rules and guidelines. The modern form, known as American Cinquain, inspired by the Japanese haiku, or the tanka. So you can see this 5-line poem was inspired by the Japanese haiku. It is akin in spirit to that of the images. In her 1950 collection, Title Verse, published 1 year after her death, Adelaide Crapsey included 28 cinquains. Crapsey's American Cinquain form developed in 2 stages. The first fundamental form is a stanza of 5 lines of accentual verse, in which the lines comprise in order 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1 stresses. Then Crapsey decided to make the criterion a stanza of 5 lines of accentual syllabic verse, in which the lines comprise in order 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1 stresses, and 2, 4, 6, 8, and 2 syllables. Iambic feet were meant to be the standard for the cinquain, which made the dual criteria match perfectly. Some resource materials define classic cinquains as solely iambic, but that is not necessarily so. In contrast to the Eastern forms upon which she based them, Crapsey always titled her cinquains, effectively utilizing the title as a 6th line. Crapsey's cinquain depicts on strict structure and intense physical imagery to communicate a mood or a feeling. The form is illustrated by Crapsey's November Night. Listen with faint, dry sound, like steps of passing ghosts. The leaves, frost crisped, break from the trees and fall. All right. So anyhow, I said that may or may not make any sense. However, I hope that this inspires you to write something as it pertains to a cinquain and just kind of go for it. Anybody have anything to share before we get off? Yes, ma'am. You have to unmute yourself, Miss Jean.
I was trying to write one on love.
Oh, what, a Cinquain?
Yes.
Okay, go for it.
But you know, that would be fun for everybody to try to do the same one and see how we come up with different things. But anyway, mine was love. Love, it grows, consumes you. It makes life real. No one should not have love. I think one line, the last line I had 6. No one should not love. Yeah.
Okay, and don't forget when you're writing, try to mull over and relax and concentrate on the rules of the Cinquain so that you can keep it simplistic with the amount of words that it asks you to do on each line. So
Did I do it? Did I do it?
well, I'm actually, it's kind of hard sometimes just to follow with the flow of the word.
Okay.
If I'm not like looking straight at the paper, so I wouldn't say that you did not. Yeah.
It's really tricky. It's kind of almost like a little crossword puzzle.
Yes, ma'am. It does kind of look like that. So, if you are having any type of issues with finding something to write about, I'm going to give you a couple of prompts to write about for next week as it pertains to your Cinquain. It's up to you. All right. So if you have your pens and pencils out, as it pertains to the Cinquain in the chat, if you do not know what you want to write about or you want a prompt to help you write about 1 or the 5 senses in any type of manner that you wish. I mean, I can't say how you would want to express something like that, so that's solely up to you. All right, the next one is write a Cinquain inspired by color. Write a Cinquain inspired by color. And the last 2, write a Cinquain about something that happened to you this week. The last one is write a Cinquain about a song that you love and the emotions or feelings that song brings about inside you. Those are our 4 prompts for today, for next week. They are just simply just what I said, prompts. You can write any Cinquain you like. You can write 1 or 5 Cinquains. If you do not know what you want to write, then you can definitely write about one of these prompts. Write a Cinquain about one of your 5 senses. The senses like touch, smell, sight, hearing, taste, those types of things. Write a Cinquain inspired by a color or colors. You know, however you want to put the material down is creatively up to you. Write a Cinquain about something that happened to you this week, and write a Cinquain about a song that you love and the emotions or feelings that the song brings about inside you. Anybody else have any other material they would like to share while everyone continue? And are there any questions about the instructions that I put in the chat about the Cinquain? All right. So after the 5th line of the Cinquain that involves one word and it's the synonym for the subject, where it starts with poetry, that is just an example of a Cinquain. Does anybody have any other material that they want to share for today? Spoken word, word up.
I have another haiku if you don't mind.
Of course I don't mind. We would love to hear it.
This is entitled The Novel. The novel. Pine tree writer Cone released his springtime novel, 50 Shades of Green.
Can you read it once more?
Okay. The novel. Pine tree writer Cone released his springtime novel, 50 Shades of Green.
Okay. I had missed the last part where you said dipping shades from green. Okay, good job.
Thank you.
Were you sitting in the forest when you wrote that one?
Actually, I was sitting in my car the other day, and my battery wasn't working. I was waiting for a charge, and I was just looking around at the different shades of green of the trees around, and I said, "Oh, look at all these different shades," you know. And so that's how it came about.
That's good. I felt an energy like you might have been somewhere near nature when you wrote that, so that's why I asked. Any other young poets out there know it? Want to show it? Before Jamal, you got some poetry you want to share, Mr. Jamal Jones? No?
No, if I read my poetry about falling in love with me.
Woo! Woo! I want that one.
I'll read something next week.
Okay, feel free.
All right.
You was a poet, so that's why I just asked you and included you, no problem. Miss Vicky, you have anything you want to share for today, love?
I have how much time you got? A few more minutes? I had to had to let the alarm man in and everything. So our security people. I have a poem. I don't like to be highlighted, but you can highlight me if you want to.
Thank you.
My poem is called, well, I was reading an article and it said, today, be happy, be you. And they talked about living, laughing, reading, learning, playing, dreaming, loving, and enjoying to stay healthy. So I thought of a poem called Live, Laugh, Love, Learn. That's the name of it. Live, laugh, love, learn. And it's an acrostic poem. The first word is live, the second one is laugh, the third one is love, and the fourth one is learn. Little gets past us as the years go by. In spite of life's ups and downs, we just sigh. Vigilant and watch for all. Let me start all over again, Kim. Live, love, laugh, learn. Little gets past us as the years go by. In spite of life's ups and downs, we just sigh. Vigilant and watchful for all that's ahead, ever so grateful for the life that we've led. Loving all people, great and small, always careful to make the short tall. Usually thoughtful about what we do and say, grateful that we are given another day, happy to be here another year. Life and love go walking hand in hand over a troubled and rocky land, victoriously fighting for a right to be ever present in you and me. Listen and read, enjoy every creed, always have fun, remember to run, never stop living, laughing, loving, and learning. The end.
It's good. And so true.
And positive.
Yes,
It was positive. Thanks.
yes, it was.
Miss Sally Dawson, you said something?
I just said yes, it was positive.
Oh, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So thank you so much, Miss Vicky, for sharing, Miss Jean, Mr. Ronnie, Miss Sharon Hardnett, all of that beautiful spoken word. Y'all know this is the class Word Up, all about spoken word, short stories, and poems. So I'll be very excited to hear your Cinquains for next week. And if you want to know how to pronounce Cinquain, it's like saying S-I-N, sin, K-E-I-N-S, canes, Cinquain. All right, Cinquain. So I will be very excited to hear what you all come up with next week. And if you don't have your own subjects to write about, and just, free up. It's so many things to write about. We live in every day, every moment, every second, something is popping off out here in nature with human beings, with our food, our thoughts. So as soon as you get some type of something that comes up that's unique, try to, maybe meditate on it to keep it, or, go ahead and write it down. Something could be very creative or different that could flow out of you to share with others and share with us in class next week. So it doesn't have to be a prompt. It could be almost anything. So feel free to free up and just explore. And I want to say thanks again for joining me, Kimberlie Wright, with Word Up. See you all next week. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Peace and love, everybody.
Thank you. I love you guys.
All right.
We love you too.
That was a beautiful poem, Vicky.
Thank you.